Hyper School. So if you know anybody that is new and wants to get into crypto, well, Crypto School is the place to be. Welcome back. No more beard. The beard market is gone. We said if Bitcoin breaks 40,000 on a daily close, the beard's gone. No more beard. If Bitcoin goes below, I'm going to start growing a beard. Welcome back, guys. Today is all about ETH and how ETH has broken through the dominance. This week is actually all about ETH. It is the week of EIP 1559 that we've been waiting for. Let me get Sheldino to tell us what's going on here. Sheldino, what's going on here, bro?
Yo, buddy. You know, we spoke on Friday about this. We were sitting right there at resistance, and we could see over the weekend, we just had this massive explosion from Ethereum, especially to the Bitcoin pair as well. And we've had a big drop in the dominance as well, the Bitcoin dominance. So the alts are definitely playing as planned. What I do like is we do have a sort of understanding where everyone was thinking Bitcoin was going to dip off on Friday until the alts are showing weakness with Bitcoin.
Not everyone. Sheldon said Bitcoin was going to continue to go. Rudo and Cheds said Bitcoin was going to go down. Who was right?
Yeah, we got it right, buddy. That was we needed a higher high first, and then I was determined the pullback could happen. But we needed to break 41K, 41,500 first, and the alts weren't showing weakness. The market wasn't showing complete weakness. So for me to think that Bitcoin is going to turn at that point, I still believe the high wasn't in yet. Now we can have a small pullback and a few days rest. Now it makes sense, but we needed to break that higher high.
Okay, so let's quickly just get through the formalities. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is the place where we mix technicals and fundamentals to bring you the best crypto channel in the whole world. It is the best. Everybody who's here will tell you it's the best. We're a family. It is the place to be. If you're new, subscribe to the channel, like our videos, get it out to the crypto community. Tell people that we have. This is a place where we make calls. We're not conservative. We're not all about Bitcoin. We tell you what we think we're buying, and we did tell you what we think you should buy about a week ago. And if you bought that, you would have been up by 62% on your money. If you had just bought what we told you to buy when we told you to buy, I think that we need to create a new one for this week. Let's do it. Yeah, Freddie's got he bought these new earphone things with he looks like a pilot. You're cleared for takeoff. Foxtrot, Romeo, Echo Delta, you're clear for takeoff. Runway number 29. Runway number 29. Strong headwinds. Prepare for takeoff. Over and out. That's what it looks like today. A lot of people want to know what's happening with the funeral of 9935. That funeral of 9935 is taking place today at 10 a.m. EST on the stream, right? 10 a.m. EST, we are doing the funeral for 9935. Unless we give him away, if we get 5,000 likes, then we'll give him away. Dr. Anyas, you don't need to do a super chat every day. This is not like going to the cinema. You don't need to pay $20 every day just to watch the show. We're cool. All right, let's get into why ETH is so amazing. Why is ETH so amazing?
What's up, buddy? Obviously, the break of the dominance is huge. ETH, we could see, even the last 2 days, we could see how ETH has absolutely been exploding towards Bitcoin. So, the main thing is this, in my opinion, would have been very bearish if Bitcoin was going to come down on Friday. I would have rather expected us to be, if ETH was showing a bit of a break to that, then I would agree that Bitcoin wasn't at its height just yet. But obviously, where alts were starting to, they're still very far behind. And we could see that clearly in the weekend that Bitcoin had this massive explosion. And we had Bitcoin make this huge wave up to the upward side, which you can see now we are literally fighting the resistance trend. We are fighting that main daily trend that since we have started this whole little drop off. So we did expect there was going to be some sort of selling pressure. And the main thing we obviously wanted to raise was the big bearish divergence where we had the higher high in the RSIs and we still weren't above this price over here. So the fact that we have now broken that has now erased the bearish divergence, which is good. Remember, the whole reason for that eliminating of the bearish divergence is for the pullback. If we didn't eliminate that bearish divergence, the pullback could bring us all the way back down to those lows again, to the 30K again. Now that we've finally broken that, that's the importance of saying, okay, now we're just looking at a normal decent retracement, a normal healthy retracement, if I could say. And we still obviously are waiting the big breakout. So with ETH on Friday, we did not have that big candle just yet. And obviously, if we had to look at ETH and where ETH was sitting, ETH was still far from making the highs that we needed to make there as well. And obviously matching it down. If we look at this now, Rand, and we start looking, and why I'm starting to get very excited with ETH now is because I started to also go back with a bit of history. And, if ETH breaks this wedge, this was the wedge that we started off that took ETH from a couple $100 all the way to $4,000. And now we're at that point on the high time frame where we can be breaking that wedge again. Now, the last time that we had this was obviously the break of this trend over there that took us this big push up, and we had the huge trend that we had previously. Well, it was basically this little, let me just mark it up and we can see it. There we go. It was the break of that point over there. Now, if I zoom out here now, and we know what a wedge means as we are going up, we can see here clearly a break of a wedge, a strong acceleration to the upward side. If we break this next wedge, we previously hit this resistance point over here. We hit that wall right over there to the top, and we got rejected. Now, if we break this and we smash through that, where's the next resistance? Where's the next Bitcoin to Ethereum resistance? And that's all the way at 0.12. And having a look at that,
can I just ask you a question? Can I just ask you a question? Do you remember what Uncle Ran told you about what the level that ETH to BTC was going to reach? And I said this 3 months ago when everyone said it's not going to happen. I said to you, ETH to BTC pair 0.1. Remember that? We're now at 0.85 or 0.82. What are we on now?
We still 0.65, but we're obviously breaking the daily, on the verge of breaking the daily wedge today. And it looks like even though Bitcoin's had a small pullback, which we've been waiting for, ETH is still holding, and ETH is completely holding against the BTC pair. It's starting to really explode. If we just have a look percentage-wise on what ETH has done, it's already done 13% in the last 2 days over Bitcoin. The 2 to 2.5 days. So now that's starting to show that, we are getting to a point that if this was a big bear cycle where Bitcoin is going to go back to 20K, would we be having all of these bullish signs? Because the way I've been trading, the way I've been understanding is soon as Bitcoin gets to a really, really weak level, when acceleration and fear is going to come in and it's really getting unhealthy, they don't care about the alts anymore. The alts become the last resort. And the fact that Bitcoin finally broke, we finally got to the 40K, then everyone's saying we're going back to 25, we're going back to those levels. But now all the major alts, and especially our leading indicator, Ethereum, is showing us massive bullish signs. How can I, in my head, say that Bitcoin's going back to 25 now when everything is starting to look really, really bullish? You remember, Bitcoin is king. And if everything turns, Bitcoin will always be protected. So what I'm looking at with ETH, go for it, Ron.
No, I'm saying, so it is ETH's week. And if you look at this site that's called Watch the Burn, this is a site that actually is going to show you what happens when ETH starts to burn with every gas fee. You can see that right now, if they estimate the blocks, it will be on the 5th of August, 2021 at 3 o'clock GMT +2. That is when EIP 1559 comes in. From that moment on, every single time that anybody does an ETH transaction, ETH are going to get burnt. And that means that ETH becomes deflationary. So I think that the market is now responding to this London hard fork, which is going to happen on the 5th of August, 2021. And that's why ETH is now starting to run. That's why I think it's ETH's week now.
And the charts are showing us that. So obviously the charts are showing us huge. So just to quickly sum it down. So we're obviously talking about ETH having a big breakout, is starting to show massive potential. Now, what does that mean? Where are we looking at? Now, if ETH to Bitcoin breaks this wedge, and all we know is when we do break that wedge, we just want to get that higher high in play. And there can be a test. But the main thing in bigger picture is if ETH breaks this wedge, we can have acceleration to the 0.08, which means Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin 25%. Now, this does not mean Bitcoin not going up. Of course, this means Bitcoin still going up. We still need Bitcoin to be healthy for the rest of the alts to keep going. But it means that the outperformance percentage from Ethereum to Bitcoin can be looking at 25% as the minimal target. Now, we know that this was a very key level that we broke previously. And we always know that in a bigger picture, these are always, remember, what is this? Sideways. Everyone's always scared of sideways. That's always preparation for the next move. But we always know, bigger picture, that these create these big sort of cups. Now, we break through that level, we go straight through to the 0.12. And if you start having a look at percentage-wise, I actually want to do a very cool show tomorrow with working that if the scenarios had to play out, and I got a very good way of sort of painting a picture on how ETH could actually flip Bitcoin, which everyone still thinks, it's not possible. A lot of people do and a lot of people don't. But, there is a way that it can play out in the next year where ETH can come very close to flipping in Bitcoin. And if they get the early heads up now, meaning that Bitcoin's just come off a huge retracement in the market, now we're starting to go up. If ETH can get the leading now and start really catching up now as Bitcoin gets back to that all-time high in the next few months, it puts it into really good content that Ethereum can. It can. There's a big possibility. So I don't know what you think on it, Ron.
Everybody thinks that for ETH to break or to trump Bitcoin or to overtake, to flip in Bitcoin, they think that ETH has to go to $40,000. That's not the case. For ETH to flip in Bitcoin right now, ETH has to go to $6,000. So it's $6,000 ETH. If ETH goes to $6,000 and Bitcoin stays where it is, so I think it's very doable by the end of this bull run for ETH to overtake Bitcoin. That's what we're going to be talking about actually in the main show. Why we think that ETH is the better place to be right now than Bitcoin. I did tweet something last night. Let me just see if I can find my own tweet, because I know Fred basically prostituted my Twitter. You see, look what Fred did to my pal Sheldon. It's terrible. Credit, bro. I tweeted that last night, but we all know that that's the cycle. So we've had the Bitcoin cycle, and now you can see we're at the beginning of the ETH cycle, and then we're going to go to the large cap alt cycle, and then we're going to go to the small cap alt cycle, and then we're going to go back to Bitcoin. That's what happens.
But the thing is, Ran, was it Bitcoin? The way I've seen it previously is Bitcoin cycle is where Bitcoin goes, smashes all-time highs, does its big run, and then we start. And that's exactly what happened in the last year. Was Bitcoin first went, smashed the highs, then Bitcoin went all the way up to 40, 50K, and then we only had a turn in the dominance, and ETH went and smashed all and completely just kept going with it. So the difference this time is we know Bitcoin starts, Ethereum starts, large caps go. What happens if ETH runs with Bitcoin this time and actually outperforms Bitcoin during the first start of a normal cycle?
What happened? No. We've had the first cycle. The first cycle took Bitcoin from 29.5 or 28.7 to 42,000. Okay, that's 40%. That's good enough for me. Now we move on to the next part of the cycle, where Ethereum goes from 2,400 to 4,000. That's the next part of the cycle. Somewhere in that cycle, Chainlink starts to run, Aave starts to run, Yearn Finance starts to run, all the big caps starts to run, even Bcash start to run, and then it's full on alt season. So why am I saying this? Because remember that we need to look around corners, and that what we taught the community. I don't know if you remember that show, but I said to you guys, you got to look around the corner. You can't be looking at what's here today, because you got to look around the corner. And I said to you guys, start looking at ETH, start looking at Polkadot, start looking at Kusama, start looking at the DEXs on those guys. If you look at what happened to those coins over the weekend and in the last couple of weeks, in the last 7 days, Polkadot's up 31.9%, whereas Bitcoin and ETH are only up 11.7 and 17.3%. Let's look at what else we said. We said Kusama. So we said Solana as well.
Look at Chainlink, 34%.
So the idea is not to trade what's happening now. The idea is to start looking around the corner, to be able to see around corners. And if you can see around corners, then you know what's going to happen next. So the clue is Bitcoin, ETH. Next move, large cap alts already started. Next move, small cap alts. So that's what we got to be looking at. You got to look for the signs. Let's quickly just, when we're looking for the signs.
I think the big thing with it, Brand, is when Bitcoin runs in that start of the cycle, the alts climb with it, they just don't outperform it, which means that when Bitcoin's starting its initial cycle, I'm already prepping for ETH entries. And then when ETH is starting to run a cycle, I'm already prepping for major alts entries. It's just about being prepped, because remember, they're still going to move with Bitcoin. And that's the same thing that's happened last week. Even though Bitcoin's outperformed, a lot of the coins still also did 40%, 30%. Even the major alts that didn't just move. But one thing I do want to say, Ran, your fundamental coins, buddy, when this market turns bullish, every single one of them pump. And they all do amazing things. So understanding the right coins, guys, is one of the hugest things you can ever learn. It's massive.
You know what? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm not one of these chicken shits that is just talking about Bitcoin right now and scared to put his money where his mouth is. When I thought it was safe for the community to start buying, I told the community what to buy and exactly what to buy. Now, look, if you would have just put equal amount into that entire portfolio, you would have had a 62% return. And it hasn't even started. And that is after today's little recovery. This was as high as like 80% over the weekend before this little recovery. So, you know, you got to diversify into a bunch of tokens that are diversified. In other words, some of them are more risky, some of them are less risky. And if the market plays out correctly and goes up, they will all go up in value. But the thing is, when the market goes down, I'm comfortable to hold any one of these tokens for the next 3 years. So if the market goes down, I don't give a shit. Because
look how they bounce. Look how they bounce. That's what matters.
I'm going to say it. I want the market to go down. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it on a stream. I want the fucking market to go down. Okay, I said it. Sorry, guys. I want the market to go down. Why? Because I need to buy shit. I could have bought Kusama at 170 and 180, but I bought other stuff. I need to buy more Kusama. I need to buy more SFI. SFI, I told you guys at 380. I wanted to buy more. The price ran away because everyone just front ran. I want this market to go down. I'm going to talk to you about that. When are we going to talk about that, Fred?
Yeah, I'm going to have a small pullback, buddy. Just make sure you don't miss that one. There is a small pullback happening.
I want the market. I want Bitcoin back down at 29,000 just for another week.
I don't think it's going to happen for now. Or my tinglies are in, buddy. When the tinglies are in, you know what I mean? It's so my tinglies are going off. I'm starting to get those tingles. Dave, allow the tingles.
We can't hear you, Fred. Echo Delta. Cleared for takeoff. Do me a favor. Can you just bring that headset here, just so I can show them what I'm talking about? Just don't get into the stream because otherwise, Jimmy and they're wireless. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Control tower. This is US Studio Echo Delta.
Clear for takeoff. We are ready. Robinson 44 with
4 packs. Duration 3 hours flat. Tanks are full.
Over and out.
Alrighty, let's get it. I do want to talk to you quickly because I want to keep the show shorter.
Yeah, let's do it. Last thing, yeah.
What happened with Bitcoin? Why did Bitcoin pull back? Was it part of the plan?
Definitely. We'll get in that 2 seconds, right? I just want to show this last thing on Ethereum dominance. If we look at bigger picture, this is the weekly chart now on Ethereum dominance. Right? How bullish does this look? It looks huge. It looks for the Ethereum dominance thing, it's smashing through this. It takes us to 25% and our all-time high is sitting at 30%. The fact that we are two massive areas away from all-time high and breaking of Ethereum dominance is huge. So I think it's going to be a big year for Ethereum. So Ethereum's a big one. So I think let's get back into and just see what has happened now and what we're looking at with Bitcoin. Obviously, the big part was breaking off the high. Now there is going to be a pullback, guys. Remember, we weren't saying that there wasn't going to be a pullback. We wanted the pullback. That's great. We just wanted to make sure we got the higher high in play. Now we're great. And we have hit the major resistance. We have hit all these key levels that are showing us we are going to have some sort of pullback. And now we can see that we have broken our trend. Remember, it's simple. When Chedza and Rudo and them were saying that these levels, I was agreeing 100%, but I can only agree on a pullback once we have broken my support and we obviously get the higher high in play. So we have broken support trend for Bitcoin, which means that I see us coming and filling this little imbalance. Bitcoin went very fast last week, guys. So for it to come back does make sense, capture rest of liquidity and go. So what I'm seeing from Bitcoin is for it the next day or two, not massive quick drops, actually slowly making its way down to the zone, which is between the 35,000 and the 37,000. In that region is where I see Bitcoin going. And then, is that the birdie?
Why is there a birdie on the screen? Why is there a birdie on the screen? Over.
And what I'm seeing from that is Bitcoin pull back, fill that imbalance zone, and then the break of the wedge, which means we make our way up and we break the wedge. And then I'm seeing 45K, 48K, 51K. Now, obviously, the first main thing, it's very simple. Now, Sheldon, how do we know it's going to bounce in that zone? How do we know anything? Guys, get back into the habit of keeping it simple, very easy. When Bitcoin now makes its way down, we are going to have a little pullback. It's going to make its way down and make a beautiful trend for us. Sorry, I drew that skew. A beautiful trend for us. And we will then start laddering in the zone, and we'll then be catching the breakout for the next move. Very, very simple. Just means a little bit more patience comes in. I think everyone's learning patience is good. So Bitcoin pullback, right? Dominance. This is quite shocking, and this is quite exciting. We had the breakout of dominance, right? We completely collapsed support, and we have just dropped these supports now. Alts. What does this mean now? It means that we are showing weakness, that Bitcoin could have went on a rally that could have taken us to 52%, and it could have taken us up a bit higher. But
exactly as I have been predicting.
You're 50%, Ran. There we go. There was your zone.
50%. And 50% in alt season. Who said that?
I know, guy.
Exactly as I have been predicting.
Exactly as I have been predicting.
So the way we're still working with it now is obviously, the dominance over the weekend. We had a small pullback from Bitcoin. I would have expected the bounce over there. And now we're just completely collapsing that, which means that Bitcoin's making its way down, but the alts are holding. So the alts pullbacks are going to be coming down with Bitcoin, but they're not coming down as hard as Bitcoin. And we can see that today, Bitcoin's 0.5, and we can see Ethereum's 1.5. So we can see there is a pullback actually happening in the market right now, but the alts are not really, and that's because of this dominance dropping. Now, what's very important, guys, is now that we've broken out of that zone, and this now becomes invalid, we've dropped that, I still have this major one over here, and this is my indicator for alt season, right? So we have it. I still believe they're going to run together, but at a true alt where everything just goes absolutely berserk and catch up is the break of this line, because that can take us all the way back down to these levels, and the whole market pumping, it's huge. So that is my indicator for that, because now we have erased the previous one where I was looking at the dominance being bullish for a week or two, and now we've obviously broken that trend, and it's alt time. So we got a nice...
You're not charting prices. You're charting human emotion. What you've just shown is exactly the human emotion. What is the human emotion? We have 10 green days in a row, right? You have 10 green days in a row. The market, after day 3, as the green days are happening, the dominance is increasing because people don't believe this yet and they'd rather be in Bitcoin. Then what happens is after day 7 or day 8, which is exactly when it happened, let's have a look at when the dominance started to go down. About day 7 or day 8, you've convinced the retail market.
Yes.
You've convinced the retail market that it's safe to get back into crypto, right? Then they get back into crypto, but they want outsized returns. So where do they go? They don't go to Bitcoin. They go to the altcoins. And they start taking
look
money
at the specials. They go look at the specials.
That's exactly what happened. Human psychology at its finest. Now what's going to happen is there's going to be a dominance is going to stay where it is, because now the market's gone down and they're thinking, shit, is this going to turn or is this going to... So now it's going to happen. Yes. And then the market just shoots up again because it is what it is. Because ETH is going to drive the next... The first market pump was driven by Bitcoin. The next market pump is driven by Ethereum. That's it. And then the market pump after that is driven by large cap altcoins. This is it. This is what's going to happen.
Exactly. No, 100%. Now, the main thing we want just on dominance, let's just get that lower low. So I do want us to break that trend in the next week, because that'll be just massive bullish, and it makes sense. The alt is still cheap. So going all into that, and I was having a look at total as well. We got the higher high. Total's looking good. Well, the total 2 is looking good. Obviously, the full total market cap, let's just have a look here, is breaking trend, which means a pullback. This is Bitcoin, obviously. And then we have the total, which is still holding trend. So it's definitely showing that the alts, bigger picture from here, I do see a small pullback at any point from the alts, definitely. And then onto the next one, which is another $200 billion away, which is huge. Now, the main thing is, guys, what the whole point of today is now is that we are starting to expect a pullback in the market, right? Now, make sure that by the time this next pullback happens, now that your portfolio is structured correctly. Now, there was a lot of people on the weekend that took some good trades. Everyone should have made some great money last week. We had really, really good trades. But then at some point, I put a tweet out yesterday saying, guys, I'm taking some profits on my trading portfolio for the dip, right? Then everyone's saying, yeah, but if we take now it's going up higher, which means 70% of your money is not sitting in long-term holds. So my biggest thing, just to make sure now on this next pullback in the market, is I've still been giving all the buy zones to all these coins that Rand talks about, all the great fundamental coins, is to make sure that a good percentage is in your hodl and it's out of your thing, it's in wallets and it's gone. So that you have another small portion that you can take profits at any time. You don't care if it goes up another 10%. You'll buy it on the next dip. Remember, it's a non-emotion wallet. Very, very simple. So just use this time now. The markets are turning bullish. You don't want to, we're still going to track as the weeks go to see what happens, but you don't want to miss out if this market goes. And if it goes, make sure you're damn ready. So all the alts, and let's jump onto our good coin panel. I see the C3 we gave last week was brilliant, right? C3 since last week, 30% up. I see Gero's even up a good, let's see, percentage-wise here. No, these are small parts of your portfolio. So make sure that even on your longer term holds that you have some of these good higher risk coins, smaller parts of your portfolio ends up making you more money. So definitely have that. And then let's jump into our coins here, guys. So there was a lot of people asking on the CoinPanel thing that they can't see my exact watch list. Just make sure throughout the show, all of these coins that I mentioned are all there for you guys to go have a look at. All of the entries are there for you guys. And I will go through them quickly so everyone can see it. So I'm just seeing why it's taking some time to load. But all that I was waiting for from all of the alts was the higher high and the pullback. So same with BNB. BNB, I'm definitely catching it. 290, 305 is where I want to be buying. We got the higher high. We got that in play. Cardano, same thing. I want to be catching Cardano again. $1.2, 1.26 is where I want to catch. So all the alts are at least showing us the same thing. And having a look, here's Cake, looking at Dot's done really, really good. But you can see where we're expecting the next pushes now. We're expecting a little bit of slowdown. Just come and capture these imbalance zones and then the continuations up to the next target. So we don't see a chart where everything's showing us that everything's just going to go absolutely to the moon. It's not about that. It's about understanding that it's going to take a good month or 2 months, but we are going to have the slow gradual growth where it slowly just makes its way back up to the tops. And remember what I was saying the whole damn time. We worked for 2 months for that damn entry that you can hold for the whole damn next run if this turns out to be the next bull run. So DOT is a big one. Make sure you don't miss those charts as well. EGLD, definitely one. That's a great buy. This has still not done anything. A lot of the alts are already up here. EGLD, you can catch it now between 74 and 81. Good buy on EGLD. The next one the new one today that I want to give you guys is Engine. Engine as well. If you can catch Engine 1.2 to 1.3, really good buy. It's still early. I said going to 1.7, $2, 2.3. So these are good 50, 60% trades. Eternity chain. I'm not sure what you're still thinking on Eternity. Are you still, what's your thoughts? Because chart wise,
I think that Eternity is good, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to publish a buy list later for the guys in terms of what I'm going to be buying if the market pulls back. So I'm going to do a quick shopping list. Sheldon, if there's nothing else that's urgent, I think let's rather keep the stream shorter. Remember, we are doing shorter streams this week. We're doing shorter streams. We're also launching new shows. So 2 new shows launching this week.
Pullback time, guys. Pullback time. Take your time. We need Bitcoin to come back. Bitcoin to 35, 36. We are making sure your portfolio, this is your homework. Make sure your portfolio is structured. You know the coins you want in that portfolio, and we'll help you get the entries on those. And you know what's going on in the next week or 2.
Okay, very, very, very quickly. Number 1, we still got bull number 9935. We're going to give it away when we get 5,000 likes. If we don't get 5,000 likes in the later show, we have to slaughter him because we got a whole lot of new NFTs we've got to give, right?
Have some stakes.
Oh no, it's a different. So we do have another NFT giveaway called, what's it called? Aliens. Lonely Aliens are coming later on today. Okay, next, we are launching a new show today. It's called Microdose. And this is it's a daily show that's going to give you everything you need to know about the crypto markets in 10 minutes. I'm going to try and keep it to 10 minutes. It's going to be aired after the main show, probably 2 or 3 hours after the big show. It's called Microdose. It's exactly that. It's your microdose of crypto content. Then we are launching In the Game sometime this week, right? With Bryce. Thursday. So we are launching we're launching that, and we're also launching Trading Wisdoms next week. You guys need to leave your jobs and just keep watching Crypto Banter, because there's going to be no more time left in the day. Because we are building a 24/7, 365 streaming credible crypto station. So you're going to be able to switch on crypto any time of the day or night and get live streaming information. And if that's not something that you want, then don't smash the like button and don't smash the subscribe button. Anyway, no time for super chats. Oh, we're also hiring. Okay, can we just talk about this, guys? How many of you want a full-time career in crypto? You want a career where you can start learning about the markets from the most incredible people in the whole world, from journalists, from companies all around the world. Well, this is your ticket. We are looking for a producer. You don't need to have production skills. You just need to be obsessed with crypto, obsessed with gathering information, be able to assist us in creating and building shows. In fact, to actually make your own shows. And that's it. You got your ticket into full-time crypto, remote working, no matter where you are in the world. Okay, I know it sounds too good to be true, but that's our lives. We wake up in the morning, we speak crypto, we listen to crypto podcasts, we speak to the most incredible projects. Join our team. Here's your ticket. For those of you who have been waiting for a sign that it's time to go full-time into crypto, here's your sign. Okay, we need producers, we need writers, we need reporters. Build at cryptobanter.com. That's where you send your application. If you want to be a producer and create a show, just like Fred creates a show. If you want to become a writer, an editorial writer, and you have got crypto writing experience, reporters at cryptobanter.com. All right. I'll see you again. I will see you again at 10 a.m. EST. Remember that from Wednesday, Sheldon's show moves 1 hour earlier. So this show, which is currently at 6 a.m. EST, becomes 5 a.m. EST. That happens on Wednesday. So subscribe, hit the bell button, because otherwise you won't know that it's happening. We will see you all again later. Much love. Trade well, make money, bring home the bacon. See you later.